Happy Thursday. It's 10 a.m. How are you, Stacy?
Happy Thursday. I'm wonderful. Thank you for asking.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody, here to another awesome episode of Real Estate Now. And we're going to talk about a great topic today, which is hiring people and grooming people and mentoring people and building your business, which is super awesome. And I don't know about you, Stacy, but I don't think I've gone down the road without seeing like at least a dozen now hiring signs everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. And it seems like every industry, right? It could be entry level to release to skilled laborers to businesses. I mean, everywhere. It's impacting everyone.
Absolutely.
Where are all the workers at?
Where's everybody wanting to work? But before we jump into our show, let's do what we do every week and just touch in with or check in with our fine interest rate market. And rates ticked up again this week. So I'm back on the win column. You got the win
Yay.
column last week. I'm back on the win column
I'm
again.
glad you won, but it's way more fun when I win. I think we
Always a
get more
bittersweet victory.
cheers when the rates go
Oh yeah.
down than up.
I think we get cheers, claps, snaps, and all the good excitement that comes with rates going down. And then when I win, because rates tick up, everybody's like, "Great, thanks,
Yeah.
thanks."
So how much did they take up in the last week?
Week over week, 0.06. 0.06.
So that would have an impact of what? A couple dollars?
0.006%. Yeah, a couple bucks. Yeah. Always it depends on the size of your loan. The larger the loan, the larger the impact that change will have. But long story short, we're hovering right around the threes for primary residence, good down payment, off you go, good credit score. You're right around three. So then you go up from there if you have higher leverages, if you have less than perfect credit and all that good stuff. But long story short, we're tipping up a little bit. It's interesting. I didn't pull it up here today, but I was looking at other aggregators out there. So Freddie Mac goes out there and does their survey. But then you have places like Bankrate and LendingTree that their 30-year offering per their analytics was well over 3%, like 3.15. I was like, wow, that was a big difference. But anyway, rates are ticking up. They're going up a little bit. Not anything to cause any like alarm, but definitely get out there, go refinance, go buy that house. It's a great time. Money's still cheap, super cheap. So anyway, coming back to today's show, Stacy, just shameless plug here. Loan Depot's hiring, right?
Yeah.
So
we are.
yeah, so we're hiring too. So if you're looking for a job in the mortgage industry, let us know. We're here. We're one of many companies hiring. But if you're out there in the mortgage real estate space, if you're out there as an entrepreneur trying to figure out, maybe you just really haven't given it much thought about how my recruiting looks, how my mentoring looks for my employees. I hope you tune in, and I hope you got your pen and paper out there because we have one of the best team builders joining us today in the Seattle real estate market, Christine with Christine and Company, coming on in today. Christine, how are you?
I'm very well, and you? Oh, look, I'm very close. Okay.
Oh,
Good morning.
Go wide angle. We can go wide angle. There we go.
I'm good. How are you this morning?
Oh, it's another beautiful day in the neighborhood. The rain shine is out, bright, and all that. And so here we go. So, Christine, tell us a little bit about yourself and your team.
Okay, let's see. I have been in real estate 21, 22 years, maybe, something like that.
Nice. We're like exactly the same. That's awesome.
What's that?
We're twins. We're twins on that.
Twins. All right, good. Yeah, and I was a keynote speaker for 10 years. I really love empowering agents. I really love showing people how to get spectacular results. And then in the downturn in 2008, that industry collapsed. There was no more traveling the country and coaching agents. Nobody was paying $10,000 for a coaching program anymore for that little short stint. So I found myself jobless and thought, and owning 3 homes that were worth less than I owed on them. And I thought, and I jumped back into real estate in 2009. So while everybody else was fleeing the industry, I was like, tap me in, coach.
Yeah.
I got in. I believe in Warren Buffett's saying of being fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. So as people were jumping out, I jumped in. And I guess it worked because here we are, right?
Yeah.
Voila. So since 2009, where have you grown your business?
Yeah, so I was an independent agent for the first, I was digging myself out of a hole like many of us in 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
I was an independent agent. I went straight to KW, loved KW, love. And maybe around 2012, one of my dear friends, Aaron Hendon, who I'd known for 20 years, got into real estate and came to me and he said, I'm going to be on your team. And I let him know that I didn't have a team, and he let me know that I did now, right? And that's literally how we started. It was just me, and you know, I started solo, and my business got so big I couldn't handle it alone anymore. I couldn't keep going at that pace. You all know what that's like.
Yep.
You know, you're going to fry your brain and burn your body. So Aaron and I started building a team, and you know, we have a podcast called Agency for Agents, and that's what we want. We want people to have agency over their lives. We want them to have a say in how it all goes and a say in their career and being empowered in what they're doing. So right now we have a little bit of a smaller team than normal. I think we have 7 or 8 agents and 2 or 3 admin, and we're growing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So, you know, you mentioned something. I think where I want to start and shape this conversation, you mentioned something that your business grows to the point that you need some help. What were some of those identifiers for you to help other people understand that, hey, I'm in my business and my business is up to my eyeballs now? What were some of those triggers for you?
Yeah, I call it cryered. You're so tired, you could cry, you know?
Say that again so everyone can hear it.
Cryered. You're so tired, you could cry.
Tired. Yes. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, in summer, we're blessed. We could show houses until 9:30, but I was showing houses from 8 a.m. till 9:30. And then I was doing listing appointments. I mean, you're just so booked, you can barely breathe. So, you know, you need to get some help. Yeah. I think that's a big one is just, it can't be. And I think real estate's really infamous for this is we work ourselves to death. And you really
though, I feel like people, when you get so busy, it's hard to take, it's almost like you got to take 2 steps back when you start to build that team. And people seem fearful to take those 2 steps back, even though it might get them 5 steps forward. So how did you maneuver that, or how do you coach around that for people?
I think that's human nature, right? About anything. Yeah. Change is upsetting. Change is upsetting even when it's good change. People are like, oh, I don't want to change. But I mean, you know, I do think it gets to the point where, you know, maybe you start with an assistant, so you're not doing all your own paperwork at midnight, you know, or whatever. If you're new, you get on a team, so you're not doing any of your own paperwork, period. And then little by little, you could grow it. You could start with a showing assistant that just opens some doors for you, and then you could grow them up into a buyer's agent. So it's not like you have to make a decision that you're going to drop all your business, give away half your money, and hire 20 people. It's, you know, bite-sized pieces.
I have one more question, Keith, if you don't mind, on growing teams. Do you teach for your own team, like everyone knows the whole process? In mortgage, there are definitely teams where people are in a box. Like, you don't go outside this box. You do the front end, you do the middle, you do whatever, but you don't leave it. And other teams, like the way we operate, we want everyone to know the whole step or the whole process. So what is your take on that?
Yeah, it's an interesting concept, right? It's one of the things I really did deal with quite a bit is many teams let you be a buyer's agent or a listing agent, but never both. So
interesting.
I could never really get my head around, you know, if you're working with me, Stacy, and you come and you say, my girlfriend's selling her house and buying a new one, I'm going to tell you, well, you don't get to sell her house. I do. I could never quite get my head around that. And I get it works for a lot of teams. I'm not making anybody,
totally. Me too. Yeah.
But I really do want well-rounded agents. Now, do I start them right off at a $4 million listing? No, right? So we really do have a full training program, 90 days, and we have a full-time coach for them. So they have a productivity coach, and we meet in the mornings on Zoom to do brainstorms, masterminds, questions, free-for-all Fridays, things like that. So I really do think my job is to empower them in doing what there is to do to build their business, and they choose their niche. You know, I have a woman named Sarah. She's been with me 4 years, and she still just loves buyers. God bless her soul. She is like out there now in the trenches, right? Because that's the hardest market right now is for buyers. But
Especially over the last 4 years. Good
Yeah.
gravy.
That's what I'm saying, right? And she's brilliant. She could easily do listings, but that's her niche, and she's sticking to it.
Yeah, it's nice because when you do let folks just gravitate naturally to where they feel the most comfortable, that you'll get the most production out of them, and they'll be the most satisfied.
Yes.
How cool is that, right? So,
yes.
Yeah, I was just interviewing someone yesterday, and I asked that, like, well, where will you find your happiness within this organization? I'll tell you what I've opened, but I want to know from you where's the best spot for you. To what Keith you just said, that's 100%. There's a spot for everybody. We just need to find where it is. Same with, I don't know. There's examples left and right on that, but yeah,
I agree. I really do think if it's somebody who's talented and it fits with my culture, I'll find them the right seat on the bus. There's a seat on the bus. Yeah.
You said one of my favorite words is culture.
Yeah, for sure.
So when you said when you find somebody that fits my culture, how are you going out there to when you're growing your team? How do you go out there and find people? I mean, are you throwing an ad up on like LinkedIn and Indeed, or how what is your process for finding people?
For sure, that right. We're on a site called Wise Hire that syndicates out to everybody, and Indeed and Craigslist and LinkedIn and all of that. But then it's also a lot of word of mouth. And, one of the things that I found, especially now when it's this weird, I don't know, like you and I were talking about before, is COVID middle? Are we over? Are we still? I mean, it's just such a weird time, but so many agents are out there without the support that they need. Their offices are closed down. Nobody's there. It used to be in the good old days, we could be in the bullpen and there's 30 other people there to ask a question. That doesn't happen anymore. So we really did want to cater to, empower, teach, groom newer agents that don't have the support that they need. So we're like, come be with us. So it's a lot of word of mouth. My productivity coach right now was an agent that was with another company, no names will be mentioned, who brought the buyer to one of my listings.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So we met that way. And, I have, a friend who was in the rental properties, property management for 20 years.
Management.
Yeah. She said, I want to jump into real estate. I'm like, come, my friend. Let me show you the way.
That's awesome. Because I think so often business owners that they get stuck in the box that they have, like hiring somebody is putting an ad out there, but we meet so many people in our daily lives that could be a huge additive to our business. And it takes a moment of courage there to like go out there and say, hey, you're a person of value. Would you be interested in even joining my team? You want to sit down and have that opportunity and that conversation? That's a cool place to be. So,
it is. It's fun, huh?
Yep. Unfortunately, ads on Indeed, you don't get the culture fit right there off a piece of paper. But
culture is so important. When Christine just says, and we have a full-time coach on staff, like how common is that in your business that agents have access to a resource like that?
I think, well, if you ask the agents I'm currently bringing on that are coming to me from other teams because they don't have that, they'll say it's not very, very common at all. But I think most brokerages have like a productivity coach, but I don't know. I don't know if other teams do, but I do know, I've got an agent right now coming from another team, and I have two agents coming from other teams. One said they weren't challenged enough, and the other one said they were just left on their own. And so one of the things that's really important to me in culture is that you always feel like you've got somebody shoulder to shoulder with you. Somebody's got your back. You're never on your own, just never on your own. And the more experienced you get, you don't need that, but it's still always available to you. And that's a big deal for me.
That's a huge deal. What other, so coaching is big. What other things do you help your team as far as growing and taking it to the next level?
Yeah, it's a great question. We just did our team retreat to build our 2022 business plan. And I took what I would consider one of my riskiest moves, and I'm a pretty big risk taker, but I took one of my biggest, riskiest moves, and I changed my splits. Teams are 50-50. And then if somebody gets really great, maybe they'll throw them an extra 10%. But as far as I know, most teams are 50-50. And my top agent's been with me for 8 years. you know, he deserves more than 50-50. He doesn't need me anymore. It's my job to now keep him happy. So we have splits now that go all the way up to 80-20. So
Wow.
80, I know. I was like, but I'm like, no, you know, because that's gonna have me have the caliber of agent that I want.
Yeah. So how does it, so in my experience, I believe culture over volume, right? So we will get rid of our largest producers, and that shocks our industry because that's just not what you do in mortgage.
Right.
Last year, we got rid of our top 6 top producers. Just didn't fit our culture. So and I feel like that will help us in the long term have higher volume. And actually we have higher volume now this year anyways. But so what are you seeing? Are you seeing that yet, that it's having positive impacts on your growth?
That was a week and a half ago.
Okay. We'll ask you in January.
But I mean, you know, one of the things, here's the culture of my team that I love is that Aaron said, oh, you know, Aaron, of course, was just blown away that I did that. That's going to put $150,000 extra in his pocket. This is a guy who brings in 500 GCI and splits, right? And it's going to go back in his pocket. But he loves that he can be on a team where he never touches a contract. He never uploads a listing. He never schedules a vendor. He never deals with staging. Our team takes everything off his plate. So all he has to do is go be with people. And then when we said we were doing this, he's like, what if it doesn't work? What if the house isn't making enough money? I'm like, then we go back. He's like, okay. And I'm like, who says that? You know, who says then we change it again? And that's his culture. You know, that's our culture is I want him to make more money. He's like, no, the company needs to make more money. And we all have each other's back. And I think that does make a difference in the long haul, a huge difference.
Yeah. I have to say, so Christine, when we first met at the Master Builders Association, Aaron came up and gave his presentation, and he talked about his video emails that he sent.
Yeah.
From that point forward, I've been sending video emails, and so like year to date, so far, just in 2021, I've sent over 400 emails with videos to my clients.
Yeah.
And so I love your guys' team, how you guys work and communicate with people. It's awesome. So I just want to
it sounds like they lead with abundance, right? And they're sharing the information because if you picked up that from Aaron at some event, they're not hiding it within their own team. And
really not.
Sounds like it's had an impact on you. Hopefully someone listening is hearing this and will take that same advice and start that.
You know, Aaron what's an upgraded one, but Aaron during COVID, the first year of COVID, made more money than he did the year before. And he said, it's exactly what we said at that Bulletproof Your Business event. So that event was February before COVID in March, right? Bulletproof Your Business.
Was it February right before? Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Because you remember Yan was actually wearing gloves to serve the appetizers just because we didn't know about this new virus.
That's right.
Right?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, sounds like you need to do a virtual one.
Well, I was just going to say, so once he figured that out, he's like, I doubled my business. And it really was exactly what I said. He now does a webinar. So if anybody wants a webinar, shout out. I'll get that for you. It's called Bulletproof My Business. Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome. All those ideas.
So, you know, we talk about where the real estate market is going, and what's your vision? It's kind of a difficult question right now. Still, like we said, are we post COVID? Are we middle COVID? So where do we think teams and this business structure is going in the next, let's call it 2-3 years?
Yeah, I think teams are getting more and more and more important and relevant. One of my agents was just at the summit, the Tom Ferry Summit, for a week. Okay. And I literally thought for sure, shoot, they're going to tell her to go solo because that's what all the coaches do. You just need me. Go solo. You don't need. And it was just the opposite. They said teams are the most relevant now, more than ever. Agents need to team up, work together. I mean, even if you're a big not HGTV, Bravo TV with all those real estate shows, you'll notice they're all going from solo agents to teams, and they're all these shows about real estate teams. How are you going to compete as a solo agent when you walk in and you say it's just me, and then I walk in and I go, you're hiring 20 of us?
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a powerful statement right there for sure.
Yeah.
The caution with teams is that you need to, like a team that big, right? You want that consumer to still feel that the head person's involved. I feel like sometimes teams, you only talk to that person once and you never talk to them again. That's on the mortgage side, not the real estate side. So how do you envelop and how do you like put a hug around that consumer, that client, so that they know that all 20 are actively involved?
Yeah, no,
I around the client. Aw, that's so warm.
I 100% agree. And I do let my sellers know, look, I'm your point of contact. I'm your main person. You're never losing me. And I eat, sleep, and drink real estate. If you text me at 11 and I'm up, I'm texting you back. And that's true for me. That really is true for me. So they know that I'm not going anywhere, but they also know that I have a marketing rep that's doing all of that. So I'm not spending time making flyers. And they know I've got a stager on staff with a full warehouse. So I'm not spending time buying couches. They know what everybody else is doing, but I'm their point of contact. I'm their person.
Yeah.
And pre-COVID, you were doing a lot for your clients as well as your sphere. Because I remember also
Like events?
with your business, your events and that kind of stuff. So have you been able to bring any of that back to market, or what are you doing right now? That's a good question. What do you do now to have impact for clients when we can't do what we've typically done?
I know, it was really sad. I loved events. I threw events all the time. We rented out movie theaters and had Halloween puppy costume contests. I loved our events. And then it was like COVID. I'm like, wah, wah, wah.
Yeah.
I started sending out gift boxes with wine and blankets, things like people need at COVID, things that, masks or whatever. But it's starting to pick up a little bit. We're doing events again. We are, we literally, we being me, got a huge, beautiful office, because Jan's now there, but we got this huge, beautiful office on the water at the beginning of COVID, thinking it won't last long. So I literally have been paying this lease and vacant for, 10 months, 11 months, 12 months. I guess it's longer than that, isn't it? It's now 16 months.
Yeah, 16.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we just started hosting events again. So we're back to hosting events, and we're trying to do a lot of fun things for agents. So it's just not all, people want to be social. Like my friend and I, another agent at EXP last night and I were getting together and we're like, let's start a poker game every Friday at the office, just get people out and having fun again.
It.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So we're getting back into it. But it's a switch.
It's a big switch. It's a big switch. And hopefully we can get over the hump and get back to it, hopefully in the next 12 months, 6 months maybe, hopefully.
That's not insane.
But we'll see how all those cards play out. But anyway, key takeaways, because you guys are fresh off your 2022 building practice or your business planning and all that good stuff. What are key takeaways that entrepreneurs, both in real estate, mortgage, and entrepreneurs in general, should be ready for, in your opinion, in 2022?
Are you talking about for recruiting or real estate or just overall?
Recruiting and business. Like, what is business going to look like for you guys in 2022?
Yeah, I think there's a couple different things that we all put into play. One of the things is I'm really committed that my whole entire team have passive income. So it's not just like you have to sell houses until you're 97. I really am like, okay, you can't just think sell. Let's talk passive income. Luckily, we're with EXP, so they get stocks and referral fees from other agents and whatnot. But I'm really committed that my agents have something that's longer term. And I think COVID was a really big eye opener for all of us, because unless you have multiple streams of income, unless you have a lot of people really got hurt financially, or a lot of other ways as well, right? Mental health and all that during COVID. But I think it was an eye opener for us paying attention to what's really important going forward. I think a lot of us, myself included, I'm never going back to work the way I did prior. I'm just never doing that. And I'm diversifying and I'm finding ways for better balance in life and still producing more results. And I think those are some big lessons learned these last 18 months, huh?
Yeah, it became very real. That's absolutely right.
Because you're in real estate, are you teaching these other income streams through buying homes, or just all different passions that people have?
Yeah, exactly. Obviously real estate's my expertise, but I also don't want my team to have all their eggs in one basket, Mm-hmm. So if they're only real estate, then they might have another problem. But if they get passive income, if they are either getting revenue share or stocks, which is really, really a big deal at our brokerage, they got to take that money and put it somewhere else. They can diversify. So we're doing a lot of I'm really planning for that for them.
Yeah, it goes back to the stool analogy, right? A stool can't just support itself on one leg,
Mm-hmm.
and so many people were in that habit of going to their 9 to 5, and it was providing a great life for them, and then all of a sudden that one leg gets pulled out from under them, and they have 0 legs. So yeah,
Right.
diversification, that is so key in every market, up markets, down markets, COVID markets.
Totally.
It's a powerful thing.
I have to say,
Right.
just because we were kind of on the outside skirts of talking about COVID, I'm supposed to be with Keith right now, and I can't be, but our school had an incident. So there's a whole class at home right now. So one of my kids, but I only share that because I don't know if you guys can hear, but I said, hey, I'm going on the live. And now all I hear is him practicing his, it's not a tuba, but it's it's a big horn instrument. That's all I hear out of this ear. So are you guys listening to that? Because I'm like, why is he practicing his trumpet right now at 10 o'clock? But that's what I'm listening to.
Because it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
The 10-year-olds want to play while their moms are on lives. So, right on. Well, Christine, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate your insight and your advice, and I wish you and the team great success finishing out 2021 and into 2022.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. I look forward to our partnership as well.
Absolutely. Well, we'll catch you later. And if you could do me a favor, if you could send me over the information to connect with you guys on Bulletproof Your Business, as well as your agent. You said agent for agency?
Agency for agents.
Oh, I had it backwards. Darn. Agency for agents. That we'd love to share that information with people and get that out there for you as well.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Well, enjoy your Thursday and enjoy that rain shine. I call it rain shine because it's much better than calling it rain. Because if you add shine, it just makes it happier.
Makes us pretend like we're still getting some sun.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Oh yes, and Jay would like that information too.
Fair enough.
Thank you, Christine. It was a pleasure, and we'll be seeing you a lot. So I'm excited about our partnership.
I am too. Thanks, you guys. Have a great, great, great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, there you have it. So if you're looking to build that business, sit down with yourself, figure out what you want to do, and go get it. Culture is the most important thing. I got to say it. Culture, culture, culture. So,
yeah.
Well, you guys, thank you for joining us today. And Stacy, what do we got lined up for next week?
We're gonna pull this out of my hat that I don't have on, but I think it's our agent show.
It's the 3rd Thursday of the new quarter, so we're gonna do a quarter recap for Q3. Yeah, I was like, wait, what quarter are we in? I can't believe October. We're here in October already. But anyway, join us next week. We're gonna talk about Q3 and how strong the real estate market really is. So catch you next Thursday. Real Estate Now, 10 a.m. live here on Facebook and YouTube.
See you guys.